Hey, it's Heather, and today is a great day for an adventure in gardening. So I like to think of the garden season as a Broadway production. We're getting ready for the big show in winter and spring, and we're practicing all the parts, and we're looking through the catalogs and seeing all the pretty that we want to plant and all the new things that we want to plant. And we work our way into the production of the whole thing, with summer being the big show. That's when every day we're just doing the show every single day and getting out there, from sun up to sunrise, or whenever it is that you can be in the garden. But you work a lot harder in the summer than you do in the winter and the spring, getting ready for that big show. And then you get to the grand finale, and when you've hit the peak season and the show is over. And that's when the cleanup starts, right? You have to clean up after the big production. And so right now the garden is in the process of needing to be cleaned up. Gardening season is never over. Gardening is a 365-day event for me, so I pretty much am doing some kind of gardening every day, but the pressure is pretty much off right now. So I got to get that motivation back to keep going and to get cleaned up. This is a good time to work on special projects. I want to give you a little tour today, a little look around of some special stars that are still shining in the fall garden, in case you're looking to add some showy plants to your fall garden. So we're going to do like a little mini tour. I'm not going to show you everything because there's a lot of cleanup that needs to be done. And Penny is down here and she is saying hello. Say hello, Penny. So let's go take a look around. So I remember when I was a young gardener, I actually hated this time of year. I hated fall because everything to me at that time in my life was dying, and I didn't want to see it, But now I have to say that I really have a great appreciation for maybe a deeper appreciation for finding beauty in things that are past their prime and going to seed and have their fall color, or some things that don't even have fall color and they leave their little seed heads behind. I really have an appreciation for those, so I like to stop and just make note of it. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk around and show you some of the things that I think are really pretty in the fall garden. So we're standing at the top of the hill here, where the daylily garden is. And so liatris, I just love these seed heads on the liatris. And yes, I know they're going to make many little baby liatris, but I've never really had a problem with that. But I like to leave them here. As long as they look halfway decent, I leave these in the garden. I have some beautiful sedums here at the top that I really, they're nothing special. They came with the house here, but they look good. And these garlic chives, I like the way that they look in the garden. So I'm sure that you've seen Montauk daisies as you are walking through your neighborhood or through your garden center. Depending on where I am at, depending on how the winter is, on how mild or harsh it is, that will depend on how big and fat your Montauk daisies are. So these guys, this is their first year here, but they so pretty. Love the daisies. And peonies have some of my peonies have great fall color. I've got a couple of them. I don't know if you can see the color here, but I like to keep those. The Amsonia has good fall color, and it has tons of little seed heads, and it'll drop its seeds and make new babies, and I'll move them around or give them to people. This right here is Bluebird Agastache. It smells like root beer right now. I love this. This is a great plant for me 3 seasons of the year. I love to look at this plant. But the yellow finches have been coming to this plant. I think they're eating the seeds out of it, and the echinacea. They're coming to the echinacea, like this guy right down in here. So I will leave those for a while and let them just pick at the seeds. The of course, hens and chicks, they love this season. They look so pretty. This is a new plant for me this year. It's one of the chick charms. I forget which one that it is. Penny, really? Come on. And this red twig dogwood is starting to look a little rough after the frost came. So yes, we have had a hard frost, and it has taken out some of the more tender things, but that's okay. It was time. The tomatoes, the peppers, the colocasia, the dahlias, they're all pretty much done. Lavender plants look pretty good this time of year. This was the lavender that I picked up at the field trip that I took to the lavender farm. This one is called Grasso. So here's some more echinacea seed heads that I'm going to leave here for the birds to pick at. There's another peony with good fall color. The lamb's ear, this is the one that does not produce the flower head. This always looks good. It even looked good during the drought, whereas the other one, the one that does produce the flowers, didn't look so great. Here's a peony with good color. Here's one that does not get fall color. So that one, I'm actually going to leave it a little while longer until the stems die back. But another Montauk daisy here. Now I just transplanted this plant. This is an osmanthus. It looks like a holly. So this is the time of year that the evergreens, like the boxwood back there and the osmanthus, they start to really shine. So glad to have some evergreens in the garden. But autumn comes and goes in a hot minute around here. I mean, it's pretty for like a few days. You can see the leaves falling, and then they'll all be bare really soon. So this lamb's ear has perked up after the drought. It'll stay nice until we get a really hard freeze, and then it'll be done. So, you know, most years that's not until the end of December, beginning of January, or even later, but we'll see what happens. Here's another sempervirem down here. And the coal frame, we're in the process of making a new top for it, which means that I will have to cut down the kale that's in here, which is looking really good right now. This is the seeds from the, oh, look at me dropping them, Swiss chard, perpetual spinach here. And the seeds that I just dropped, they'll just come up on their own time in early spring. But the arugula looks really good. This all self-sowed from the arugula that was here from last year. The perpetual spinach self-sowed from last year, and the kale was planted fall of last year. So I'll probably rip it out, but I'm enjoying eating it right now. And this garden over here, the basil needs to be pulled out, but I do have a few broccoli plants still in here. This garden is where the leeks are going to go. The leeks, I ordered leeks, so they'll be here soon. Now I know that gooseneck is not really a desirable plant for everybody to have, but I do keep some gooseneck here. And you can see that it has interesting fall color on it, and it also stays green for a long time. So, you know, I give it a little space, it does its job. The bees love it when it's in bloom. It's a win-win. You can see the color from this direction on the Amsonia there, how yellow it is. It's so pretty. So this is the hugel here that I had potatoes in early on in the season. There are some Cubanelle peppers here that the frost didn't hit right there, but behind them are turnips and rutabagas, which I don't really expect anything from the rutabagas this year, but I know that the turnips are going to be fruitful. So the marvel of I've adjusted my calendar. I've made little entries on my calendar. This is Marvel of Four Seasons lettuce, and that's escarole right next to it, and then beyond it is sanguine right there. You can see that this is the dumping area behind it that I'm trying to build up for next year. But so these were started on August the 14th, and I wish I had started so many more because they look really great. So you can see what the frost did to all of the colocasia here. Now I've started to cut them back for a craft project. I'm trying to, I'll show you in just a minute. I'll show you real quick what my project is that I'm working on for Christmas presents and to sell on Craigslist and make some Christmas money. But so I don't spend a ton of money on annuals just because of budgets. I would love to be one of those people that has all of the proven winner annuals, but budget. So, but the Dusty Miller is one of those things that this will look good for a really long time. I just love the way that this looks. So it'll carry me through early winter for sure. So it's underplanted under all of the colocasia that are here. The big pots are a mess. They need to be pulled out. But yeah, they look like a train wreck. I mean, underneath you can see some of the newer leaves. They didn't get as much frost damage to them. But let me show you my craft project. So I will link up in the corner the video for when my family and I did leaf casting. So I've taken this to kind of like to the next step, and I made them much deeper for bird baths. So I made a few of them here. Whoop. Get out of my shadow. So I made a few of them, and that one I broke, so I'll be keeping that one. But what I did differently is I'm going to be making bases for them, and I put this little nub on the bottom there. So that's why I haven't cut back all of the colocasia yet. Aster tartaricus, I think that's how you say it. This plant I just adore. It is a late blooming aster. It is a bit of a thug in the garden, but it's a good source of pollen for the pollinators in the later season, because they will actually, these flowers are just starting to open, and they'll be here through most of November. They really will. But the problem with this, like I said, it's a bit of a thug. It makes a very dense base, and it's hard to weed them out or pull them out. So you have to give them an area where they get to live forever. But it's a great plant. I think it comes in pink. I do not have the pink, but if you have the space to let something kind of take over and be a late bloomer, this is definitely one. So I said I don't do a lot of annuals due to budget restraints. But this is one annual, this is Calibrachoa, that, man, it laughs at the cold weather and it just keeps going. So I do have this in some containers every year. So the sun is really sinking right now. I usually do the videos early in the day, but I don't know how the shadows are going to play out on everything. But blueberry bushes have the most amazing fall color, and I love having this lemon lime evergreen near these brilliantly colored blueberry bushes. So blueberries provide fruit in the summertime, and then they give us this great autumn color. Here's another annual that I sow myself every year, and it sows itself every year, and that's calendula. And I just love this variety of calendula. So I am still in the process of picking these daily and drying them for, you know, I use them for an oil for my face and for tea. Calendula is good for moving the lymphatic system. I love this plant. It smells really good. Okay, so we're going to make a quick stop here in the vegetable garden, and there are still quite a few things going on because I did a fall crop. And I learned a few lessons because I wish I had done a lot more of things. I don't know. I think, you know what, I need to learn when to call it on the summer crops and pull them. And I think I would have had a better idea of how much space I needed to fill. Right now we're going to pick, I'll show you a few of the highlights that are going in here, but I don't have all the soil covered, which is a little bit of a disappointment. And the peas did not do well for the fall crop. But we're going to be picking some daikon radish and some watermelon radish, which I wish I had 3 times the amount of. But and I will be fermenting them in a future video. I'll show you how I ferment them. And but they're tasty roasted too. They're a great fall crop. If you grow them in the springtime, you will grow fantastic seeds. But if you grow them in the fall, I think I sowed them, I think it was the end of July that I sowed them. Perfect timing. I have to give myself 3 stars for that. And I have marked the calendar telling myself so. Okay, so I am super excited. These are the first ones that I've picked this year. So, and if the cat will allow me, excuse me, Miss Penny. Okay, so you can see the daikon radish, how it sticks out of the ground like that. So I'm just going to grab it. Oh, did I break it? Nope, nope, I didn't break it. Okay. Okay. Wow. Now I will not be picking all of them because you can see that some of them are still really small. How big is this one? That one still needs more time. This one's ready. It's like they're pulling themselves out of the ground, saying it's time. That's an odd one. Okay, we need to look at that. Yeah, okay. Alrighty. Okay. This one is ready. So hopefully, by taking some of these out, it'll make room for the rest of them in there. now let's get some, well, let me put these in the basket. Okay. Oh, sorry, Penny. Oh my goodness. I've got some awesome looking arugula in here, some of the bare necessities kale, some volunteer mustards. There's a volunteer pea. Of course, the volunteer one is the one that is the healthy looking one. And I've got this celery that I've shown you before. But so I looked ahead at the weather, and we have literally till the 29th of October, and then it's over. So I am super counting on all of these flowers to make seeds. I'm hoping that there's time. The last time I videoed this, there was one flower bloom on it, and now there's like so many. So hopefully I'll get some seeds. Maybe that one is almost ready. The rest of them look like fresh little flowers. We'll see. This celery down here did not. There's two? Yeah, two of them did not go to seed, and so I've been eating from these. They're really good. I like them. This is something I'm definitely going to make room for in the garden next year. And I've got some carrots here. Let's see. Yep. Do I pull it? If I pull it, I have to eat it. Okay, we'll pull it. Oh, it's a little weirdo. All right. That's all right. You can still eat weirdos. I don't think this one's ready. Let me feel. Oh, it's getting there. I can feel it. All right, so we're going to pick, I'm not going to pick the purple beets today. Oh, look at this purple beet. Oh, something. Maybe I am picking the purple beets today. This is going to be like James and the Giant Peach. There's something living in there. They're having a party. Darn. Okay, that's all right. Okay, so these are all watermelon radish. So I'm going to pick this one. And I've got to pick one of these to make more room. I'll pick this one. This one back here looks like a monster. Sorry, Penny. Ooh, that's a beauty. I don't want to pick too many of these. What is this? That is purple radish? Is it purple radish or is it purple turnips? Oh, I don't know. So beets are doing fine in here. They're still growing. I've been still harvesting the greens for juice. But I'm not going to pick any today. So I'm hoping that tomorrow I'll do the fermenting video and I'll show you the watermelon radish again and the daikon radish again. But right now I just want to show you how beautiful watermelon radish are and why you should grow them. And why is there a cat on the table? Psst. Hey. Okay, so we're outside. She's got me on a technicality. So, all right, so this is the watermelon radish. White and green here, and I'm going to cut off the tip, cut off the greens. Ooh, look at that. All right, so how do I want to cut it? Do I want to cut it like, no, I want to cut it like this, okay. Oh my goodness, look at how beautiful this is. So you've got green, white, and red, just like a watermelon. Very cool. Now, how does it taste? It's so good. If you have an opportunity to get these at a farmer's market, before you can grow them for yourself next fall, you gotta totally do it. I love these. So I like them like this, sliced. I like them grated and put into salads, and I like them roasted and pickled, fermented. So that's how I like my watermelon radish. So it's kind of funny how much more you appreciate things in the garden after a frost, you know. Then you start to see stuff like the miscanthus, and you know, you start to see things beautiful that maybe you didn't see beautiful before. So these containers here that have these little succulents in them, the frost got the cannas, but the succulents are fine. These are just, I threw little leaves in here in the early spring, and let them do their thing. You can see there's another leaf that fell, and there's a little baby. So I'll be pulling those out and bringing them inside. These runner beans right here, I'm just letting them dry up and go to seed. And I'll either eat them as, you know, dried beans, or I will just save them for next year and share them with people. But the runner beans are so pretty. See how pretty that bean is in there? So right here I've got some Japanese forest grass with a blueberry and a hosta, and oh, what are you doing, little lady? Okay, so I said to her this morning, I'm like, okay, you can free range because she's elderly and she doesn't really forage anymore and dig holes. And then look what you did. You dug a hole. This is Rosemary, and she is 13 years old coming up. She is the oldest hen here, and she has a job still, and her job is to tell the young'uns how to be. All right, so I just took Rosemary out of her little dirt bath that she had made, because that was not part of our agreement today. So there is a benefit to keeping an old hen around, besides the fact that I love her. She's special. She tells the young'uns how to be, how to live, and how to behave, and when to go in, and hey, this is good she's handicapped though. She survived a dog attack. Oh, I don't know, 8 years ago or so. And so that's why I was like, okay, she kind of walks with a limp, but she manages just fine. She's a good hen. You gonna say hi, honey? Yeah. Yeah, she says hi. So the reason that she is out here free ranging is because instead of in the pen with everybody else, is because the young spiffers are mean to her. We got some young spiffers here that were going after her new pin feathers, right, honey? So she gets special treatment now. So one of my all-time favorite fall plants is calicarpa. I just love the berries in the fall on the calicarpa. They are stunning, and they will be on the calicarpa until after the foliage is long gone, and sometimes the birds will come and eat them. Now I know that you can, Penny, I know that you can like make jam out of them, although I never have. So I haven't really done any research on calicarpa, but it is definitely something that I would recommend if you're looking for some interesting plants for your garden for fall. You can see that the frost got some of my hostas in here, but hydrangea have, at least the hydrangea that I have, this is Endless Summer, has beautiful fall colors. So I definitely appreciate this little beauty because it's right on my path every day. Epimedium that is under this oak leaf hydrangea that also has gorgeous fall color. The epimedium stays evergreen for most of the winter. I love the way that it looks. It covers the ground, and but then in early spring you need to cut it back before the new growth comes up. That fern leaf Amsonia, and this one, the color is stunning. Of course the sun is not doing us any favors right now. And then the clethra in the background. I love that yellow color, and then the sugar maple way over there, sugar maple. I have some anemones, and this is a great fall plant, and I have them in a couple different places here. They self-sow, and then you can transplant the babies and put them all around, but it's a really interesting plant. Grows on these, for most of the season it stays low and you just see like the foliage, and then up come these flower stalks. And you can find this also in 2 shades of pink. A few hollies that not only provide fall interest but winter interest, which is a pretty big deal for me because I don't like to look out the window and see nothing. I don't like to look out and see everything dead. But the hollies look really beautiful. Lots of berries this year. This is another ilex winterberry, winter red. And look at so many berries. That looks great. And then I have this one. I don't remember its name, but it has the orange berries on it. Pretty. And of course there are ornamental grasses like this one right here. I have them tucked in different places in the garden, and their flower is, thanks Penny, is beautiful. So, so I hope that you give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed seeing the fall plants and the fall color here. Fall planting has to be done intentionally because it's a time of year that it's a little more challenging. You know, when we're planting for spring and summer, there's all the bright, bold colors, and most people will tend to do their shopping for their gardens just in those times of year. You have to buy your fall plants, the plants that are going to be showy in the fall at that time of year, because they're harder to find right now. It's not impossible though. I'm sure that there are some garden centers out there that still have some fall plants to offer you. But it's an intentional planting, so you're gonna kind of have to seek it out. So I hope that you enjoyed this look around at the after show to the Broadway play, and I'm going to just be doing some cleaning up, and I'll be popping in on a regular basis. I think I have a little more time on my hands now, so I'll be popping in and showing you what I'm working on now. So love it if you'd subscribe so we can stay in touch and you don't miss out on the next adventure in gardening. See you soon.